I'm a 26-year-old virgin, and this message is for two kinds of people: those who have already had sex but are waiting for marriage, and those who are virgins just like myself. But before you click away, let me tell you why this is one of the most powerful decisions that you can make in your entire life. But before we get into the why, let me share a little bit of my story. If I'm being honest, I've always looked at sex or that side of my life as something valuable. And it's not until I got a deeper understanding of sex and marriage as I got older is when I took that decision very seriously. And I knew for a fact that I was going to wait until I was married. And of course, as I got older, I heard about waiting for marriage. But honestly, as you get older, it gets more difficult. You see your friends getting married, a lot of temptation, you start making more money, start getting exposed to different things in life, and your mind starts to shift a little bit. And honestly, I started to feel like I was missing out a little bit. I'd ask myself, what am I actually doing this for? Like, why am I waiting? And honestly, like, will I regret it? But every time I was on the edge of giving in, I came back to my faith. I remember why I made the choice in the first place. And the key for me is to honor God and honor my future wife. And look, honor myself. Because to me, that shows that I have true self-control. Here's what I've realized. Choosing this lifestyle doesn't mean that I'm missing out. It means I'm saying yes to something better. I don't know what you may be thinking. That's great for you, Amir, but what about the rest of us? Everyone else is doing it. Well, let's talk about that one. We currently live in a culture that celebrates a false sense of freedom. Hookup culture, no strings attached, relationships or situations, whatever that means. Everywhere you look, movies, social media, friends with conversation, makes it seem like this is a normal thing. But let me ask you this, how many people do you know who are actually happy living this lifestyle? Truly. Not this false sense of confidence, but true happiness. I've watched people jump from relationship to relationship, feeling empty, broken, and used, and they thought they were just having fun, but instead they were giving a piece of themselves each time they engaged. And mind you, you're giving yourself away for people who don't even value you. The truth is, hookup culture promises freedom, but at the end of the day, all you get is chains. Broken trust, hurt, regret, and feeling like your soul is tied to the person that you slept with. And that's why I think the Bible's perspective on this topic is vitally important. It's not just about restricting us, it's about protecting us. And I love how 1 Thessalonians puts it. It is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn how to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in the passionate lust like the pagans who do not know God. This verse reminds us that self-control isn't just an act of virtue. It's a way that you honor God with your body. Because when you wait, you're honoring God, yourself, and your future spouse. And another verse that makes this crystal clear comes from 1 Corinthians. Flee from sexual immorality. You are not your own. You are bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. When you wait, you're not depriving yourself. You're respecting your body. Your body is sacred. It's not meant for everyone, no matter what the world tries to tell you. And I know this might sound good in theory, but practically, this is hard. No pun intended. So how do you actually do this? Here's the truth, waiting isn't easy, and I've struggled with it. I've had moments of temptation, doubt, weakness, heavy on the temptation side, but I want to encourage you with a few practical steps that you can actually use in your day-to-day life. Focus on the why, write it down so you have somewhere to look back on, to remind yourself why you're doing this in the first place. I mean, you can't do this alone. Ask God to help you in these temptations and help you when you're feeling like you want to do it, and allow His grace to pull you through. Avoid situations that tempt you. Be smart who you hang out with, because we all know what situations that we can get into that leads to that act and how we can do it and what we need to do it. Trust me, I've been there mentally before and stopped myself every time. And if you've already had sex, don't let shame stop you from making the new decision going forward. And no, I'm not saying you can become some type of born again virgin. I mean, that's just a lie. But God's grace is bigger than your past. The most difficult part about this journey is learning true self-control. Learning how to control your own body. There's power there because not many people will do it. If you can learn that level of self-control in your life, the biggest difficult stumbling block of this whole thing is just learning how to have self-control. And self-control is one of those things, especially for men, is super underrated. The world says real men give in to their desires, but that's not true strength at all. Real strength is being able to tell a baddie, nah, I'm cool off you. And trust me, I've been there. And taking a true stance and actually being the man that a woman would actually want to follow. Not some kind of wimp who gives into their desires. That's lame. And ladies, holding yourself as sacred doesn't mean you have to be boring. or corny. If anything, it makes you more confident. And I know for myself and all of my guy friends, we don't want a woman who just shows their body and wants to give it up to anybody. That is not attractive whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, those kind of women, all men want out of them is sex, and that's about it. There's a certain level of confidence in a woman when she can turn that down and she walks in her feminine energy. I mean, that's what every man wants at the end of the day. And so this is what happens when you choose self-control in God's design. The reward is greater than you can imagine. When you wait, you choose a love that's deeper, a bond that's stronger than any other, and not on insecurity, but building a relationship that's rooted and sacred and not just looking at sex as some cheap thing that we give out to anyone. It's a choice that says, I'm committed to you, this one person, heart, mind, body, and soul. God honors those who honors. He promises peace, joy, and relationships that aren't broken, but bring life and joy and peace. But here's the best part. You are not alone in this journey. And those of you who feel like you're alone, you're not. I see you, God sees you, and I'm pretty sure the people in the comments see you as well. So if you're waiting or starting fresh, please share your story in the comments. I'd like to hear you. And if you disagree with me, I'm up for that as well. But I want to have true conversation around this and start building the community to understand that people aren't alone in this journey. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.